So I'm making this video because I recently stopped smoking about a week and a half ago. I'm a former weed head. Like anybody that know me, like my old friends and ex-girlfriends, family, I told my mom like nobody can believe I stopped smoking because Snoop and Bob Marley probably the only two people who smoke more than me. Like, I was a straight weed head for 12 years straight. Um, I first started smoking weed. I think I had my first blunt when I was a teenager, maybe 15, 16. I want to say I had first tried smoking, but I didn't become like a everyday, all day smoker till I was like in my early 20s. I think like 21, 22 or something like that. Like I would do it with friends when I turned 18 at parties and stuff like that. We would smoke every now and then, but I didn't really start smoking for real until I was early 20s, like 21, 22. So it's been a good 12 years straight of straight smoking and um or maybe 11 years, something like that, 10 to 12 years straight of smoking every day, all day. I never smoked cigarettes for real. I tried cigarettes just to see if I would get addicted to it, but I didn't because I didn't know that you had to kind of keep smoking cigarettes, kind of just like weed for you to get addicted to it. So I smoked a cigarette once, and then I'm like, just to see if I would get addicted to it when I was young, like 19. But of course I didn't because I didn't understand how it worked. But I never been a big drinker like that. Like drinking just not my thing. I drink on special events, like special occasions like my birthday and a party or something like that I drink, but I can never be an alcoholic or an everyday drinker. Even now when I stop smoking, because a lot of people who stop smoking, they start drinking a lot. The first like day or two I stopped smoking, I tried to drink and it's just not the same feeling. It just didn't hit that well. Like, so I'm really just been sober and just, dealing with the sober life. So yeah, so let me break down why I stopped smoking, how I stopped smoking, will I smoke again? My advice to people who might be trying to stop smoking, my advice to people who still smoke and love weed like I do. So yeah, let me give a kind of breakdown. So first off, the most important, I guess, the reason why I stopped smoking after 10 to 12 straight years of smoking is I was starting to feel the effects, honestly, like telling the truth. After years and years of smoking, it first started maybe a year and a half ago. In the morning time, I started coughing up mucus, like brown mucus, in the morning time. So out of nowhere. So I didn't know what it was at first, but it started happening like every day. Like, because I was steady smoking. I thought it was from being sick. Mucus coming along with being sick. And I actually went to the doctor and they told me, oh, you probably got like a respiratory thing or you probably just sick or got like a little flu. So they gave me medication for that. And it did help a little, but it didn't go away. So I did some research online and searched YouTube videos to other people who smoke too. And they was coming and breaking down that smoking was a part of it. And if you're looking into it, especially like brown mucus, like smoking is the cause of that. So even if you smoke weed, because obviously I started off, and that's another thing. I started off smoking like bongs and stuff like water bongs and stuff because I didn't know how to roll. So that's what I was doing at first. But once I learned how to roll, I only smoked blunts like, backwoods. I was smoking slap woods towards the end. Of course, I started off when Swisher Sweets and White Owls and Game is it game lease or like red sweet games, like I just smoked it all pretty much. So that's what I started off on, is like silver games and red sweet games, the Swisher Sweets. And then like the past, like much backwoods, I think like in 2020, 2019, 2020 is when I just started smoking all backwoods. And then the past like 2 years I started smoking slap woods because with backwoods you got to deal with all of that dealing with them being stale and having a stem in them. The worst thing is the fucking stem in them. So slapwoods was the best invention to me because they already come rolled and you don't have to worry about a stem being them. So if you smoking weed and smoking backwoods, get slapwoods. It's better, and easier to roll. But if it's some backwood masters out there that know how to cut them and do all that shit perfectly. So if that's you, then yeah. But if you having problems with backwoods, get slapwoods. But anyway, so yeah, so of course that's the problem because it has obviously, it's not good for you. Backwoods and Swisher Sweets to tell you on the packaging, it's kind of just it's tobacco. It's just kind of like, cigarettes to where it's not good for your lungs and stuff like that. And then you get addicted because you can't get it. Like people have to say you can't get addicted to weed, but you can get addicted to blunts. And that's the difference is getting addicted to like, the paper and the blunts and stuff like that. So that's what I was addicted to. And that's what was causing my problem because I was smoking backwoods all day, every day. So, yeah, that's what kind of made me look into it. So once that started to happen, I switched because what I ended up doing, because I was noticing that it was because of the backwood papers and stuff like that, or leaves and stuff. So I decided to start smoking natural, like 'cause they do got natural leaves and natural like hemp leaves. I was smoking like the last year, I was smoking nothing but hemp leaves and what is it, zigzag natural or something. I forgot the name already, but that's what I was smoking. Like it don't have no nicotine and other stuff in it. It's more so natural. I tried to smoke papers because a lot of people say smoke papers, but I hate papers. We already know all of the problems with papers. They always going out and they thin, and I just never liked papers. So I went to the natural blunts or wraps or whatever. So that actually helped to where I stopped coughing up mucus a lot. Like when I was smoking backwoods and slabwoods and stuff, I would be coughing up mucus every day. When I switched to them, it was like every now and then I would, and it wouldn't be as much because when that first happened to me, like in the beginning, like it was bad to where I was coughing it up. But then it slowly got better, but then it wouldn't go away. But then when I finally switched to the natural, it started being here and there. It didn't completely go away, but it started being like here and there. So yeah, that definitely helped, but it didn't completely get rid of the problem because I would still be coughing it up every now and then. So then what happened to really make me change is because I started to notice two things. I started to notice like breathing, like I didn't have problems breathing, but breathing was a little bit like harder than what it's supposed to be. And then what really changed is that I went for a physical. And when you get a physical, they make you breathe in and out and stuff like that. And my doctor could tell that I smoke. And I took a lot of physical from playing sports and all that type of stuff. And they never said that. But this time, you're like, do you smoke? You sure you don't smoke? Because most of the time, I don't tell my doctors that I smoke. Or I just assume they talking about cigarettes. So I don't really count weed. So, but yeah, so I'm like, I just, you like, yeah, I told him like, yeah, I do. You like, oh yeah, because I can tell you might want to slow down. So I'm like, dang, if he could tell, then that means that something was wrong. He was saying like the bottom of my airways or something like that. He could tell. So that was like a wake-up call to me, like, dang, like if he could tell that I smoke, it's obviously getting bad because never before could he tell that I could smoke before. So obviously it's a problem. And then, like I said, like breathing wasn't really a problem and stuff because I work out and all of that type of stuff, but it was still worse than it's been because I'm one of them people as I got older and as I get older, because people always bring up age, I always look at and try to remember how I was feeling at a certain age. So when I was in my mid-20s, because now I just turned 33. So in my mid-20s, I never had a problem. And of course, I wasn't coughing up mucus. I never coughed up brown stuff until a year and a half, 2 years ago. So that was already a dramatic change from smoking all of them years and not having no problems. So I'm like, it's starting to get worse. Like it is really affecting me. So, yeah, that's what really kind of made me stop. Like, I need to really slow down. And I was already starting to slow down because I used to be an all day, like I used to be a weed plant. People that know me, always rolling up, smoking all the time. But then I was still an everyday smoke. But from, let's say in my prime, I maybe smoked like 5 to 8 blunts a day. Over the last like 6 months to a year, it was like 3 blunts a day. Like, for instance, I would smoke like a quarter a day. Um, in the last 6 months to a year, I was smoking like a 3, 5, or 8 a day. So I kind of cut it in half at first to slow down. And that's probably why I got a little bit better too. But it got to a point like, let me just quit completely. So, um, yeah, so that's the reason why I ended up, stopping and quitting. Because I'm like, I need a break because I have been smoking over a decade. I don't know if it's 10 or 12 years, but it's for sure at least 10 that I've been smoking every day, all day, for sure, for sure. So, I'm like, I finally need a break. And the longest I ever went without smoking maybe was like it was a week when I went to jail for a little minute because, um, forgot when I was like 2015, 2016, when I was like in my mid 20s, I had went to jail for like a week, and that was the longest I went without smoking. Besides that, I went a day or two because like I caught COVID. So with COVID, it was so bad I couldn't smoke for a couple of days. But besides that, I never like had to stop smoking because my problem is that because I know a lot of people stop smoking because of financial things. It's never been a financial thing. Like, I'll make some money for some weed. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, if there's a will or way, I'll find some money to smoke. Like, that's just always been the case because I don't have a lot of other vices. Because, like I said, I don't drink or I don't smoke cigarettes. So, weed was my only vice that there was. I'm not a big shopper, so like, weed was my only thing. So, it wasn't a problem to buy weed, even though weed can be expensive. Weed that's went down since recent time, but it's not the most expensive thing that there is. I mean, to some people it is because in my prime, like when I was smoking a quarter a day, quarters used to be like 50, $60. So 50, 60 a day is kind of a lot. And then when I cut down, I was spending like maybe $25 a day. So to a lot of people, like $25 to $50 a day is a lot. But for me, it wasn't because like I said, I didn't have no other vices. It'd be people who smoke weed and cigarettes, and some people drink, like that's too much. Then you spending like over $100 a day. So yeah, so it wasn't really for financial things, even though of course me stop smoking, obviously I have more money now, but that wasn't really a big reason. It was really because, like I said, because of the breathing, my doctor telling me, and then coughing up brown stuff. So that's why I stopped smoking. So since I didn't stop smoking, it's only been like 2 weeks now, a week and a half, 2 weeks. So surprisingly, I'm not coughing up like brown stuff at all. So that goes to show it's from the smoking. Like when I wake up, I don't cough up nothing at all. Like when I switched to natural, it was every now and then. Like I haven't coughed up nothing in probably like a week for sure. So that's definitely the reason. And I talked to my doctor about it, and I guess I'm gonna tell y'all what's happening from a like scientific level or whatever. What he says happening to your body when you smoke. So when you smoke, regardless of what it is, it's what is it, like little hairs in your lungs that catches all of the mucus and all of the stuff. It catches all of that and then it shoots it back out. But when you smoke, it paralyzes it. So when you smoking all day, it paralyzes it. So when you go to sleep, you're not smoking for 6, 8, 10 hours, however long you sleep. So it paralyzes whatever. So it's working to where all of the stuff gets caught in your it's able to catch everything because it's not getting paralyzed and stuff like that. So when you wake up in the morning, it's finally able to catch, and all of that stuff that it's finally catching, all of the mucus and other stuff, it comes up finally. So that's the reason why, like most of the people, like if you coughing up stuff, most of the time it's in the morning time. Because in the morning time, overnight, them hairs is finally working and and finally catching everything. So in the morning it all comes up. So that's the reason behind it. So when you smoking, you actually paralyzing them hairs and stuff. So it's not throughout the day, it's supposed to be catching it to where it's not that bad. And that's why it be a buildup, because it builds up when you not doing it throughout the day because you constantly smoking. So, um, so yeah, that's the reason and the logic behind it of what happens. So yeah, so that's something to think about also when you smoking. And then of course, like I look at it like some people like Snoop or some people been smoking 20, 30 years and not have, or I don't know if Snoop have health problems. I'm guessing not because he's still smoking, or maybe he just don't care. Cause that was my problem too, is that some people when they start coughing up brown stuff, like I watched some YouTube videos, they quit right there and like, fuck it. I love weed so much that I was like, I'm just gonna cut down or switch to natural. Like, because I want to say you can come be addicted to weed, like, or you not, or make, like I said, maybe it's not weed. If you smoke blunts like most people do, that's what you will be addicted to. So that's what I was addicted to for sure. Loving smoking, and I love the process of smoking, rolling up, smoking a blunt, playing the game. Like if you play video games, weed makes it better. You mix weed with coffee or a Red Bull, it just intensifies your high. Weed makes food better. Weed makes music better. Like weed does make life better. It makes you more chill. It makes things more funnier. Like it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of reason why people smoke weed and why weed is like, big. It calms you down. And that was the hardest part. When you smoke weed to calm you down, and people who start smoking weed, they usually more like agitated and stuff like that you have to deal with. So, um, yeah, but I was definitely addicted and didn't want to stop. Like, of course I love weed. So, of course I miss weed every single day. Like, every single day I think about smoking. I've been thinking like, cause like my mom told me like you should switch to edibles, and edibles is not the same to me. It's something that's better than nothing, but like, it's not the same as weed. Like eating an edible and smoking a blunt is not the same type of feeling or whatever. So it could never replace the feeling of smoking a blunt. So, or smoking a leaf. But, but yeah, I miss it every day. I think about smoking. To tell the truth, like I told her, is that I know now, oh, this like, my bad, I'm jumping on I'm gonna get right back. But what I was saying about people who smoke 20, 30 years, or maybe you older than me and still smoking and never had problems, so that's good for you. Everybody's body is different. So, you know, some people able to get away with this. Some people might come older as you get older and stuff like that, but it just depends on your body. Some people younger than me, it all depends, but this is just what happened for me in my life. So, yeah. So if you ain't having no problems, I guess keep smoking until you do, but eventually you probably gonna have to cut down because, it's not cigarettes, but it's not good for your lungs. Like they say, anything that's going air could irritate your lungs. So obviously that's not good. And then, like I said, it paralyzes the hairs in your lungs that catches all of the mucus and stuff. So yeah, that's something to think about. So, but yeah, I think about smoking every day, and then I'm probably gonna get to a point to where after I let, because I plan on not smoking for some months, probably maybe 6 months to a year if I can. That's gonna be hard to do for that long, but I'm gonna try it. But I know if I do go back to smoking, it's gonna be like, just how I drink, to where it's gonna be on special occasions, or if I'm with a girl or with my boys, I might hit it once or twice. Because that's a lot of weed smokers that I know, and shout out to y'all. Like I do know a lot of people who, like one of my boys, he'll hit the blunt twice and be done. Like I'm done. Like, he ain't finishing no whole blunt. I think I'm gonna turn into one of them, to where if I do start back smoking, it's gonna be on some, I'm gonna hit it like a few times and be done, or I might smoke like, a blunt like with somebody. Like I don't see myself going back to just smoking whole woods or blunts, throughout the day like it was. I don't see myself ever going to that. I can see myself like maybe smoking a blunt with somebody, or smoking half of a blunt, or maybe one blunt that lasts me the whole day. I can maybe see that, because I ain't gonna lie, I don't, as of right now, because things do get, as you go along, I might just say, fuck it, why go back? But I know myself, and I know I'm never gonna go back to a all day, everyday smoker. Like, because I do want um my lungs to be clear, clearer than what they is, and go back to healthy and young. Because the younger that you do things, and that's another thing, the younger that you do things, the better. Like you don't want to wait till you 45, 50 years old to kind of stop because like they said, all of that damage didn't happen. And then like you were telling me about your lungs, your lungs do reach a point of no return. So, you know, you got to think about that also. But yeah, what else? So yeah, you know, that's my journey and that's my story. You know, I love weed. Shout out to all the people who smoking a blunt right now. You know, I do miss it. But it has got better over time. Like I can explain it. I quit kind of like I said, cold turkey. I knew I needed to. I threw away. I took a picture on Instagram and posted it. I had like fucking 30 tails because you know I started collecting because tails of stuff because like I said, I always had weed. So, you know, I only smoke my tails if I really needed to. So it ain't really come to that. But I threw away all my tails, like 30, 40 of them. And I was just done with it and just said, fuck it. So I do think about smoking, but I always get over it. Like, you know, I want to smoke, but then I just say fuck it and keep going, you know, and just like, you know, I kind of quit cold turkey and just said, fuck it. I got more important things to think about. As far as like weed affects some people, because I want to get into this lastly, is that people like to bring up weed makes you lazy. For me personally, weed didn't make me lazy. It actually kind of like made me like more of a go getter and do stuff. Like everybody different, but like it never had that effects to where I would smoke weed and just say fuck the entire day. Like it does put you to sleep. Like I have been times where I smoked and passed out and went into kush coma, but for the most part, I was never a lazy smoker because it was my everyday life. So I still went to work and did everything. So that didn't affect me. What did kind of affect me is that weed gives you the munchies. So that's why I wanted to stop smoking too, because I would overeat. And if I really wanted to get in shape like I wanted to, I always knew I had to stop smoking so I could stop eating fast food and junk food. Because now that I stopped smoking, I can more so um cook and like you know I can eat a steady meal to where I don't have the munchies. You know, when you high, you don't get no fucks. You eating more than you should eat, and you just eating fast food and bullshit because you got the munchies. So that's why I wanted to stop smoking also because I knew I would be better able to control my diet. So that's what really changed things for me to where okay, when me start smoking, I know I can control my diet now. So that's something else that kind of helped me also. Like I said, the money does help, even though it wasn't a problem, but I'm saving money on buying weed and food. You know, when you got the munchies, you buy unnecessary food. So, you know, of course, that's a benefit too. So yeah, trying to think, is there anything else that I'm missing? Um, uh, no, I mean, for the most part, I'm good. You know, I'm starting to get used to it. Like you do get used to it after a while to where, you know, it's starting to become my life now without smoking. So